I did a video quite a while ago called The Dark Side of Being a Light Worker. This is kind of phase 2 of that video. In that video, I talk a lot about scapegoat and about kind of being the one who gets blamed for everything in your family and why light workers have a lot of dark things to go through to kind of shed the light on these subjects for not only yourself, but your family and your collective, or what I would call the tribal wounds. This video is really about how empaths have one of the biggest issues that they don't even know about. Empaths, and whether a light worker, a highly sensitive person, it doesn't really matter. For some reason, empaths who feel other people's stuff or take on other people's energy as sponges go through one very big issue if you don't have strong boundaries. I'm going to explain it in this video and what to do about it. So you guys know I've been doing this work for quite a while, and my biggest credential, other than certifications in school and stuff like that, is being the wounded healer. And so this was one of my biggest issues when I was a kid, and even when I started coaching years ago. I still had this issue because I didn't recognize what was going on when this was happening. But if empaths don't have boundaries, we take on the energy of others, and not only the energy, but the vibration of others. If we don't properly clear, I usually have candles going, but this one's very loud for some reason, but if we don't properly clear our space or our energy, if we don't do a whole lot of self-care, we can take on a negative vibration from someone else, specifically someone toxic or someone going through something very tough or very heavy emotionally. We can take it on in a way to relieve them. That's sort of energetic codependency I talk about sometimes. But we take it on to either relieve them so they can feel better so we can feel better, or so they can feel better and then we feel like, wow, we did good work in the world. But also because we don't have a boundary, we don't even know we're taking it on. So we can take it on, and what it starts to feel like is definitely a lower energy and definitely like a depression or anxiety type feeling. But we forget that it's probably not ours. So we're like, wow, what's going on? What's happening in my life? What do I need to change? Who am I? Where did I go? I just don't feel right. I don't feel seen. I don't feel, because you're not. You're literally hiding behind all the stuff you've taken on from someone else. You know what I'm talking about if you're an empath. If you're a true empath, you have had this pattern probably most of your life where you take on the energy of others and sometimes act it out because you just don't know what to do with it. It feels so bad and you forget that it's not yours, it's someone else's. And you take it on and you act it out, or you take it on and you get sick, or you take it on and you just feel like I'm losing myself because you can't see yourself past someone else's emotions. These are the signs that your boundaries are not strong right now, or that you've let them go, or you've forgotten about them for a minute. And so what we need to do is be really strong when we're about to be around someone, or about to have a bunch of clients, or about to have an experience with a bunch of people, like a collective energy. We need to make sure, and don't forget you're an empath, make sure that you need to be rooted and grounded in yourself. You need to be really into the self-care regimen before any of these kinds of situations. Now you're probably asking me, what if I find myself in one of these situations and I don't know the person's toxic, or I don't know? Totally makes sense too, happens to me all the time. But you have to remember, when you're in this space with others, what a lot of empaths do is we almost give up ourselves and become almost too present for the other person. So we kind of leave our own energy and our own power, our own presence. We go over there so far because we want to feel into that person. And so what I always say is become very conscious of you in the present moment so you can hold for that person, not give yourself over for that person, right? It's like the energetic codependency. You want to hold for the person so the other person can actually clear, but you're not taking it on. Or the other person can just express and be free, but it doesn't go and stick to you, and then you feel like shit and they feel better, which happens a lot with new coaches and new healers and things. Well, you take on everybody's stuff and they feel really good in one session, and then you leave at the end of the week and you're like, what's happening to my life? What's happening to my body? So boundaries, you guys. Staying present, reminding yourself that I can still connect. I don't have to literally go into their emotion. I can hold into my own emotion and have a space that's open to share rather than leaving my frickin' self and going into someone else's energy field and then having all their stuff stick to you and they feel better. It's kind of like this double-edged sword when you're a healer type person, because you're like, I can feel you so deep, but oh shit, it's too much because now I can't even feel myself. So it's really important to have this boundary. I'm saying this right now because with the eclipses happening and all these things this year, there are a lot of people coming to me saying, I'm forgetting who I am. I'm feeling this heavy energy, this collective consciousness. I don't even know that it's that, but I know that it's that. And it's this heavier energy because you are not only taking on other people, but you're taking on all the stuff that's happening in astrology, in the universe, around you, in your environment and community. And so when we take that on, because we're feelers and healers, we have to know how to transmute it. And my best skill at transmuting it and my best tool is a boundary. Realizing what it is by really knowing who you are, by really having that self-care dialed in to the point where you know exactly how you feel and what is yours and what isn't yours. And when it comes into your field, instead of taking it on and then forgetting who you are and feeling weird and not knowing why, it's noticing what's coming into my energy field. Who was I around? What were they talking about? Was I totally grounded in myself? Probably not. So, something to think about. Just a little tip for you guys today. Also, I wanted to remind you that I think it's going to be September 1st. Emotional Rehab will be launching. It is healing emotional wounds to really shift your relationship patterns. When we have, by the way, as review, when we find ourselves in narcissistic relationships or toxic relationships, it is because there's a tribal wound that needs to be healed. It is because there is a deeper emotional wound that we can heal to end the attraction to these types of people. So that's what the course will be about. I'm really excited about it. So check the links below. Whole other bunch of announcements as well. And I hope you have a great week. Namaste.